Hey, John.
Gotta brush the snow off here, Nick. I mean, it's incredible out there, man. It's blowing. It's wild. I did work my inside bigger than the outside charm here on my shed, so we're ready to go and ready to
So
talk about the artistry and meaning of charm bracelets. Um,
wonderful. And Elizabeth, so glad you could join us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It is a great joy. Not to brag, it's not a contest. I do have more snow at my house than John does, but I'm very happy to be indoors and talking to you.
I For all those people out there who don't know who Elizabeth is, shame on you. Elizabeth is the deputy headmistress of HogwartsProfessor.com, the weblog, and has been for 2 decades now. Is a dear friend of mine. She lives in the Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina, even above Asheville. I mean, she's up 4,000 feet. I mean, she's up there, right? Looking down on all of us in the upland of South Carolina. She's our expert, our resident expert, not only on the Hunger Games in District 12. I mean, she lives there, but of all things Edmund Spencer and C.S. Lewis and J.K. Rowling. So I mean, she's the invaluable person. Plus, she likes writing about movies, and I don't. So this is. I mean, she's always been the right hand. All right, Elizabeth has joined us today because Nick put up this post about a most remarkable, maybe the most remarkable header that Rowling has ever put up. Nick, is this?
I think so. I think for two reasons. I think it's she always says that her headers are clues or related to things that she's working on. So of course, the fandom goes wild when she puts a new header on. Everyone's talking about it, trying to work out what it means. This time she actually said, these are clues, guys, pay attention. These are clues for book 9. And it was an early Christmas present. And so it's remarkable for that reason. She's actively pointed the fans at it. It's also remarkable because it is a real object. It's not created in AI. And it's something she spent some time and not a few dollars constructing.
All right, so you're gonna find out why I tapped Elizabeth to join us for this in just a minute. Yeah, but if you want to know more about Elizabeth, and you will after hearing her talk, you go to AppalachianInkling.com, and you'll find her work there, which is just different enough from her Hogwarts Professor work that it's got its own site, and it's precious, as all things Elizabeth are. So, Nick, you started us off. We know that this is the first time that Rowling has said, look at this, here are clues, not just what I'm working on, etc. Quite a bizarre thing, and I want to hear what you have to say about. I mean, it looks like fan servicing, it looks like marketing stuff, but that doesn't mean it's not valuable and we can't look at it. It's not
No. Absolutely. It is absolutely fan servicing. So it is unashamedly there for the fans. It's a Christmas present for us. And we always say, John, probably with more sincerity than I do, that's not what Hogwarts Professor is about. We are not J.K. Rowling's marketing department.
Yeah. If we were, then maybe they might drop us a dime, maybe drop us a pound note or something.
But
I can't get a shopping cart with the money that Rowling has sent us. I mean, this is.
Well, let's. This is our pitch. This is our pitch for the job, because we do get incredibly excited, of course, when J.K. Rowling drops these. It's significant. Absolutely, that it is a charm bracelet. Now, J.K. Rowling has a long history with charm bracelets, starting from when she was 5 years old. Now, she wrote an article in 2007 for Harper's Bazaar called The Story of 3 Charms. This is a story of 3 charm bracelets. And we'll stick a link down below. It is a lovely article, but she explains how she developed her love for charm jewelry. So she writes, I was a plain and freckly 5-year-old when I received the first, and I had never been given anything more beautiful in my life. A heavy silver chain with a heart-shaped clasp. It was crammed with clinking charms, including a wishing well charm, a fat Spanish donkey, and my favorite by far, a filigree egg that opened to reveal a tiny bird. As I sat playing with it, wholly engrossed, one of my great aunts, I can't remember which, spoke over my head, ah, but no really nice woman likes jewelry. And I think Rowling is such that it was that early opposition entrenched her love of jewelry, which you can see she has the most beautiful pieces now. That there was a sad story attached to this particular charm bracelet. So she was living in Manchester. She was burgled. She was actually burgled twice, but one of these burglaries, all of her jewelry was stolen, and they even smashed her jewelry box. Her mother had recently passed on. All of her inherited jewelry was stolen, as well as this charm bracelet. But in the article she writes about, she still can't really pass an antique shop with a jewelry collection without pausing to see if she can find that little filigree egg with a tiny bird inside. Now, if we are going to receive some money from jkrowling.com as part of her marketing system, I'm going to put a little pitch for, is this worth any consideration? So I think I found it. And it's not all that expensive either. So this is sterling silver. It's described as a filigree egg. Now, filigree actually is constructed with silver wire, and this, to me, looks like it's more cast and pierced. But it has the little egg, the little bird inside. You can see as you open it. I'm not sure if this is the exact one. There are a few different variations. There's one with a little bird on a silver chain, but if J.K. Rowling can describe it to me in a bit more detail, I'm sure I can find one somewhere for her, if we get the marketing contract.
You really are auditioning here, Nick. This is great. This is great.
So
you need to be staff.
So this is this was her very first charm bracelet. The second one she received after she'd written Deathly Hallows, and Bloomsbury and her agents presented her with a charm bracelet containing different icons from the Harry Potter series, including a small red Philosopher's Stone, which got lost on the very first outing of that charm bracelet. But she still maintains that this is, other than her wedding ring, her most precious possession. She created... Sorry? No, we have no picture. We have no picture of it, or I have no picture of it. But she created another Harry Potter charm bracelet. And this is it. So this was, and two of these were created. One is retained by J.K. Rowling, and one was auctioned for the benefit of Lumos, her charity for children who have been institutionalized, to help them get out of institutions. Again, we've got all of the Harry Potter symbols. There's a couple, a strange one. This skull with a snake, and the other non-Harry Potter symbol is this butterfly, and that's the logo of Lumos. Greek. That's
Nabokov.
Yeah.
That's Vladimir Vladimirovich. I mean, come on, baby. That's great. All right.
Well, Greek for butterfly, John, as you know, is Psyche.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. I didn't recall it. That is great. It's also about basically resurrection. So it's a laden symbol. But you also see it's a ring composition, the mirroring images across the thing. I mean, it's an axis. I mean, that's a heavy image for someone like Joanne Murray to throw on the chain there.
So this was auctioned just as the last Harry Potter film was released, and it raised £20,000 for Lumos. So
don't they sell these now, Nick? Don't they sell like?
So Lumos sells a charm bracelet. It isn't a copy of this. It has some Harry Potter symbols on there, but I can't find any claim that J.K. Rowling was involved in the design or the creation of that. Obviously, people without $20,000, if they want a Harry Potter bracelet, then go to Lumos. It's a great charity, but this bracelet it is not. So we've got 3 charm bracelets now. I'm going to try and make it up to 6 if I can. There is a charm bracelet, J.K. Rowling charm bracelet, that I don't think anybody is talking about. There is a charm bracelet on the homepage of jkrowling.com, and it's a different charm bracelet. It is this one. Mm-hmm. It isn't very good resolution. It is tiny. So if we compare these links to the Lumos bracelet, which we have to assume is an adult bracelet, I think this is a bracelet for a child.
Yeah, there's only 6 links, right?
Yeah, it is really tiny. There are 5 charms on it. It's not very good resolution, but I'm going to make a stab at them. So can you see my pointer? I'm not sure if my pointer's.
Yes, I can.
So this is a bishop's mitre and the crossed keys of St. Peter. First glance, it looks Catholic, but I can't really make out the triple crown on the mitre. So I'm going to say that's just bishop-like from somewhere. We've got, I think this is a dream catcher. So you see the 3 feathers at the bottom is distinctive of a Native American dream catcher. It's in the shape of a heart, which is a common shape nowadays. It's not a traditional shape for North America, but in sort of 60s counterculture onwards, the heart shape is very common. We've got 2 medallions. Now, this one appears to have a figure of a god on it. It looks late Roman to me, but I can't find a match, and I can't make head nor tail of this one, nor whatever this shape is here. I can't make any sense of that, but it's interesting. We're now up to 4 charm bracelets.
When did that go up on our website?
So this is old. So this is 2015. I think these images first came. In fact, there was quite a lively discussion at Hogwarts Professor weblog where we pulled a lot of these images out and we were trying to understand what they were. I think that discussion took place, I think, in 2018, and the website had already been up for some time then.
I don't remember our discussing this charm bracelet though. That's new. That's great work, Nick.
Yeah, I don't recall that either. So we're up to 4 charms now. The 5th charm, as far as I know, doesn't exist yet. So this is the charm bracelet that Strike gave to Robin. The charm that set it all off is this. It is an articulated Masonic cross. They seem, at least the internet tells me, they're incredibly common. So you can buy these in silver and gold in prices ranging from about $80 up to $800. So this is a particularly fine silver example. It's old, so it's hallmarked Victorian. It's got all the Masonic symbols, and you can see each of these faces is faceted, and each has a separate engraved symbol on it. And this was online for £250. So I imagine it's something similar to this would have been in the silver shop for Robin to admire.
And for strike to purchase, great catch there.
Yeah. So that is charm bracelet number 5, and then charm bracelet number 6 is this remarkable creation as a header.
Wonderful cameo too.
Yeah. So some of her selfie shots are better than others. This is a particularly nice one, I think.
All right. Woo. Thank you, Nick.
You're welcome.
6 charm bracelets. This is really a thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now, boy, where do we start on this? I'm gonna bring up some stuff here. Excuse me. Wow. So the post that Nick wrote on this is called J.K. Rowling drops all the Strike 9 clues for Christmas. That's definitely in the package below. Elizabeth Baird-Hardy is with us to talk about these 12 charms on 9 links and to brainstorm ideas about their possible meanings. But this being Hogwarts professor, I want to talk about structure, Nick. Before we jump into the charms, the specific 12 charms, and this is for you as well, Elizabeth. Do either of you think that there being 9 links for the 12 charms is meaningful, and the combination of the charms on 3 links, or if the charm bracelet itself only had 9 links, and therefore if she had 12 things to put on it, she had to combine those things. And then of course I want to talk about whether it's a ring composition, as well as being a ring in shape. We're going to talk about that. Just give a quick look at that, and then we're going to review that as we go through the things and see which things are paired, and whether there's a structure to the whole thing. It's a remarkable set of things. I mean, I don't know. I hadn't given the thing one thought, Nick, until you wrote your post. That I was doing, whoa, this is a lot of really involved stuff, and almost all of it has symbolic meaning. I mean, she's offered to it as clues for what assumes the plot events of Strike 9. But I think she's really pushing us to be thinking about things on at least an allegorical level, if not an anagogical level, in terms of these representations. If these actually are things that are going to be in the plot of this thing, of the last 2 books, or specifically Strike 9, it's going to have a lot of weight in it, Nick. This is going to be, finally, I shouldn't say that after Troubled Blood, but this is going to be a remarkably dense work.
Yes.
And we even have a clue about what the epigraph text is going to be, which I know that our mutual friend Beatrice Groves is very excited about the fact that we might have an area of her specialty in as the epigraph source. Anyway, structure. First thoughts on structure. Nick, did you see anything? Did you say, "Oh, it's a ring"? I see how the beginning and the end and the middle. I mean,
I would love to have seen a ring. Of course, just like a ring, you put the 2 ends of the clasp together. It, by definition, is a ring. In terms of the structure of it, do I think she has constructed this bracelet because she had a bracelet with 9 links on it? No. So I think that given the,
you don't think she couldn't afford that 12 link?
Well,
bracelet?
I think even if money had been even the least bit of a consideration, I think she's gone to such lengths to construct this set. If she wanted 10 links, she would have had 10 links. One of them, at least, actually isn't designed to be a charm. So she would have had somebody at least basically skilled in jewelry to create the charm out of it, to make it work with the bracelet. And let's just take another look at it, because I don't think it works. I don't think it works unless it has a deeper meaning. So you can see there's many of them just have one charm to a link. Many of them are doubled up.
Three of them are doubled up.
And so you could say, well, they're doubled up because they're small, except that, well, that's not really true, because you've got this quite large egg and quite large anchor, and they're put together. And well, maybe she wanted just the special ones to be on their own, like this Trojan horse. But then the most valuable one is on
by
a
far
double link, and then the one that means most to her, this Salter, is on a double link.
How do you know it's the one most valuable to her?
But she doesn't say valuable. I think she says most special to me. The one that's most special to me is the book that can, and she says it contains psalms in the plural. So
there's just looking at it. Thank you for putting this thing up, Nick. This is great.
Yeah.
There seems to be an obvious center.
Yes. Yes. And
if you take the 9 links, the 5th link is going to be the center. And go ahead, Nick, count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's in the center? Yeah.
So we have the Jack in the box, the devil Jack in the box right in the middle.
Yeah, and she's clearly laid this thing out, I think, in a meaningful way.
I think so.
You get a circle in the center. The obvious a picture of the circle in the center.
It's tempting to think could be 9 parts to the 9th book, and this is each link is a part of the book.
Oh, okay. Wow, I hadn't thought of that, but that's great. If there's 9 parts to this book, boy, what a finish we're going to have with the Persephone piece and the Psalter. Wow. Okay. I would have thought the Psalter would have been earlier in the book, but
of course we don't know. Well, we're all assuming it goes left to right. Exactly, Elizabeth. We don't know.
The other way.
It's a circle. I put it on. I get it. Yeah. I also think that that an argument can be made that the 6th part is the center, because there's another division, an obvious both those 5th and the 6th piece have halves. All right, this is too much fun. Let's start going. Let's go through it. Let's figure out what each of us thought as we walked through this. I do want to put the marker down, though, that devil Jack in the box, and the link to Persephone and the diamond ring. If this is a ring, because it's a charm bracelet, it's a circle right there. We should expect the meaning to be in the middle, and we should expect the meaning to echo the first part and point to the latter part. And that looks like Ryan Murphy is a fink. Ryan Murphy is a bad agent.
We knew that, but that's no surprise.
Really bad.
I'm looking for Charlotte's dead body in here, Nick, and whether she was murdered or not. Okay, I'm not seeing anything in that. All right.
Okay. So if we count them off then, and if I start off with the physical object, and then if you guys could sort of chip in with maybe what you think it might mean. So
and we're going to read this left or right, because we're good Anglicans.
Yeah.
We're not going to read this. We're not going to read this Japanese style and take it from the
Okay.
other side, Nick. Okay, let's go with that.
Okay, so the first off is we've got this gold heart-shaped box with a ring inside. Now it isn't actually a ring, so I don't think you can't take the ring out. It's constructed into the item, but it looks like it is a twin diamond engagement ring. It is 9 karat gold. It's not. It's certainly vintage. It's not very old. So the item that I found online was made in 1966.
Is there an industry in the UK for charm bracelets? Because this is all new to me. This is
well, there is quite an industry in the UK. So there's two real centres for jewellery production in the UK. In London, that's Hatton Garden, and there is also a jewellery quarter to Birmingham. But also a lot of foreign-made jewellery will get imported into the UK, get assayed here, so it'll have a UK gold or silver assay mark, and with that proof of purity, then it increases in its value. So there's also a lot of imported jewelry will be assayed within the UK. But this was made in the UK.
The detail work is very impressive.
It
this
is.
is not machine stamped. I mean, this is.
No, it is. It's cast, so it isn't genuine filigree work. You can see all this. It looks really, really light on the front, but if you see it from the back, this is a cast piece. And then all of that detail on the front would have come from casting rather than gold wire work. So
it's so interesting. Oh, I'm sorry, Nick. I didn't mean to walk over you.
No, not at all.
That you were talking about how she, that wonderful reference about how she never walks past an antique store without looking. Yeah. I want to know how long she's been working on this bracelet.
Yeah.
And how long this particular item, because it's old, it hasn't been on the market for a long time. She's been putting this together forever. And so as you talk about, John, it doesn't mean anything. It's rolling. Everything means something.
Yeah.
So everything. There is nothing as a throwaway. And so she's been constructing this for a really long time. So the fact that it's an antique, probably not a family piece, and she lost her family pieces, but the possibility that how long has she been constructing this bracelet? And I'd like to know which piece she got first, because I think it's been this accretion. She didn't just go to a store and say, here, I need this, this, and this. She's been putting it together over time. And I think that's why she had to put it on the header. It's almost like I've been dying to share this with you, because I've been so proud of this thing I've been creating, and I have to share with you. So I wonder about this one, about how long she's actually had it, because it is an antique.
Yeah, and that's...
Well, wait a minute. Elizabeth has just opened a big box here, bigger than this clasp. Is why this bracelet? Why now? And I'm going to throw out the cynical, nasty idea, which is that Hallmark Man was kind of a dud at delivery. I mean, it sold very well because the Strike series is very popular. It has its own television show. It's got its own fan following, international. But even though everybody now is talking about how wonderful Hallmark Man is, that out of the gate it was how very disappointing. We didn't get a bedroom scene or something, and Rowling got pretty defensive about it. She put up the Psyche and Cupid thing, saying things are going to get better, and and this is kind of early, unless we're going to get Strike 9, this year. This is kind of early for this big a marketing push. I think this may be Rowling trying to set the conversation. Hey, this is dense. It's meaningful. Mm-hmm. This next book, it's got Psyche and Cupid in it. We've got some pointers to that inside this charm bracelet, but it's more than that. There's a lot of important things going on here that I want you thinking about them in a certain way. And that first one, starting off with a heart with diamonds, Nick. Mm-hmm. And Elizabeth's doing the Spencerian, like, oh yeah, you got diamonds and hearts here. This is. Can we jump into the symbolic representation of this now? I mean,
Of
Rowling
course.
is trying to get, I think, Mrs. Murray writing as J.K. Rowling and Robert Galbraith as her pseudonyms. I think is really trying to reset the conversation about these books, and to say, take a look at these things that I'm giving you as plot points, and maybe they are just maybe they are. She's told us they are plot points, ciphers. But how does she want us to look at those plot points? What does it tell us about the book, the series as a whole, its place? What is Rowling after in the book and the series? Wow, you start off with a heart, Nick, and 2 points of light in it, and well, in terms of anagogical content, that's and that's what O'Connor says all authors are aiming at, and Rowling is one of those authors, clearly. You can't get much richer than that, because you have basically, I mean, Ed Sharlow talked about this in the paid subscriber piece we just did on part 5, that the center of that part is about the inner light and how it shines. And Rowling has said, about Casual Vacancy, that what that book was about was that the light of God shines from every soul. Well, that light of God shining from every soul, John 1:9 is this logos within us. And so here she has the heart, which is traditionally understood as, in all revealed traditions, as the locus of the spiritual faculty of man. In Christian terminology, the logos of Christ, the light that comes into the world in every man, it's in your heart. That's why it goes love dub, is because it's this immanent, transcendent God that you see its polarity without duality in everything it does. And it's literally, and inside of it, you see, this twofold diamond about, a marriage of soul and spirit, the light within you. Wow, Nick. I mean, if we're correct in reading this from left to right, she starts off with a hammer of a symbol about what it means to be human. Now, again, you can say to yourself, "Oh no, come on, John. It's just about Strike getting an engagement ring for Robin, and he puts it on the charm bracelet to show that because this is not the wedding ring or engagement ring that Rowling has described that Murphy has in the closet."
Yeah. So the band of the wedding ring, of the engagement ring that Murphy's got, is silver, so likely a platinum band, and it's a solitaire. This is a 2-stone ring. It's known as a you and me ring. So quite charming. So it's supposed to represent a couple in love. That's the nice story. As a nice byproduct, they tend to be a lot cheaper than solitaires, because solitaires have a bigger single stone. But
this you and me ring is about the essential polarity of human life, which is
Yeah.
self and other. And for non-monastics, which is most of us, right? For non-monastics, that's about marriage. Is finding a partner and loving this other partner, because in Shakespearean psychomachia or soul allegory, it's the conjunction of soul and spirit, and that's your path to communion with God in Christ. And Rowling again starts off with this thing, and we see that in Strike and Ellicott inside the books. That they're like Antony and Cleopatra, they're like Romeo and Juliet, which of course is not really a happy ending type formula.
Not exactly, John.
Not exactly, but we're seeing it. This representation as the starter for this. I mean, and people say, "Oh, John, you're making too much of this." I mean, I think there's a slide here, Nick, that just shows that especially in Catholic imagery, that Christ and the light of God in his heart, that logos, that nimbus behind the Christ in this very sentimental picture of Christ. That's the light of the world that comes into every man. He is that light. So he has of course the largest nimbus, the most radiant nimbus. But it's holding in his heart is that this is where he lives inside of each person, and especially in the 19th century Catholic thing, which the suffering heart of Jesus. Whole prayer services around this that Catholics say this is not a bizarro, John's overreaching here in terms of Christianity and the heart and the light and the diamonds. And that she puts this first, is say this is what it's about. So I was, last night looking at this charm bracelet, I was like, where do you go from there? I mean, that's just too huge. I mean, but what am I missing, Nick, in terms of the, is this supposed to be Strike's engagement ring? What are you thinking in terms of the actual plot point?
So I think just to bring it back slightly more prosaic, there aren't a ton of engagement ring charms out there. So there's not a huge, and if J.K. Rowling, say, in the last 2 or 3 years was looking for an engagement ring charm as a locket, then there's this one. This is the design, and there's not a lot out there. So there's nothing currently for sale. There's this one which was sold within the last 12 months, but it's not really common. But this is what is available. Other than that, then you're talking about individual rings as a charm in itself. She could have got one of those. I don't think it looks as special as this. So it could have just been, Murphy's got a ring. I need to, part one's all about the ring and the proposal from Murphy. I'm going to put that on the first link.
And the fact that we have this other proposal, because of course Strike is this terrible proposal on the stairs. So we have those two, we have the duality, the doubling again. And so the idea that here Robin has the choice, she has a choice between the two things. So as Rowling is looking for that ring, and she could just put there are ring charms, but this one, because it has the duality and that doubling, and the fact, thank you, Nick, for pointing out that it's the you and me. And I'm sure the folks who do the television show are delighted that we've made a little reference to the song that opens up the show, you and me and you. That's the beginning of the song. So that's nicely appropriate too. But the idea that it is that we expect that. So there's something expected. And we know that we've got a devil in the jack in the box waiting for us. Surprises will happen. But if we're having the thing that is not supposed to be a surprise, something is going to happen with an engagement at the beginning of this book. That's kind of what we expect. But just like everything else, yes, does it mean this? Does it? All of the above. Rowling does all of those things. Just as she is Mrs. Murray and Mr. Galbraith and Ms. Rowling, she is all of those things. And so are her stories.
How many latches have we got on this chain?
It's one. We probably should move faster.
And we got the latch with the ring. We got the jack in the box with its hinge, and we got the Psalter, which is a codex, which opens up. Any other ones?
Latch Trojan horse.
Latch Trojan horse, and
that hourglass. I want to talk about that hourglass too. I think that's going to be something interesting.
But it's not a latch. It's not a latch.
It's not a latch.
Does the Fabergé egg open up?
No, it doesn't. So there is an alternative Fabergé design, which this isn't, that opens up. That one's a bit larger though. I think that if she'd chosen the larger one that opened up, it would have looked a little odd in this set.
But I'm talking about the beginning, the middle, and the end are latches that open up, and there's a surprise inside. And that, Nick, I think is what she's saying is, the surprise inside is concealed. Hence the devil and the jack in the box, and that it's going to be a surprise. Now, I love the fact, Nick, you're saying that that this is going to be a 9-part book, and each one of these things is going to be by part. And so in the beginning, we're going to have this thing. That's brilliant. Especially because the book ended with Pat Chauncey saying, you blew it. That's not the way you do things. You don't drop that on her like this. And so after Strike saves, Cormoran the fish, and Idiot decides to answer the phone, or at least check the messages to see, who called at the end of the book. He reflects on what Pat said and says, oh yeah, when you propose to somebody, usually you have a ring in your fist. And so he goes out and he buys a ring, and maybe this is a ring that he buys. I'm not convinced that, you just said that she's made a thing here. I think she may have seen this thing and said, that's exactly what I'm after.
Yeah.
Or she could have had somebody make exactly what she was after, especially in this spot. But still, very meaningful, very rich. A lot of Christian content inside there, Nick. I mean, that is,
Oh, yeah.
or just you can take it as perennialist symbolism. It's Rolling will say, oh, no, I'm an ecumenist, all these traditions. Yeah, all of them. If you're a Sufi, if you're a Kabbalist, you're a Hindu, the heart's going to have a lot of the same resonances. But boy, that diamond set, that diamond pair, that's what Robin and Stryker are supposed to be about. They're the anti-erotic love care about the soul and the spirit, elevating this above just carnal, erotic love. And that's what clearly what the alcoholic and dissipated and very suspicious Ryan Murphy, or RFM as he has become known universally. But RFM with that secret middle name is that's the erotic ring, and this is the anti-erotic ring. And I see this Spencer person doing that. Yeah, the Cupid thing, right? This is a huge piece of Spencerian criticism. So much so that Lewis said that was really the heart and soul of the books. All right. Whew. That's just one, folks. We got 8 more parts to go here.
Okay. Accelerating through. So we have the Fabergé egg. So this is a $9,000, well, nearly $10,000 retail egg. It's brand new. It is.
Do you carry $10,000 on you? I mean, you have to. Is that something you just whip out and say,
John, they can make change. They can make change. It's fine. It is a beautiful gold construction. These are real diamonds. There are 18 real diamonds in it. It has this enamel gouache surfaces. You can buy this in different colors. She's actually gone for the cheapest option. If the other colors, the blues and the greens and the purples, are another $1,000 on top of this. It is far and away the most expensive item on this charm bracelet.
I mean, you could buy all the other ones for the cost of this one.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think that's fair to say. I mean, these aren't silver; these are gold. None of them are cheap, but yeah, I think you could buy another charm bracelet with the cost of that.
Okay, so I mean, and when we talk about Easter eggs,
yeah,
that I mean, there's the film lady right here in the center of our picture here. Yeah, when you talk about Easter eggs, you're talking about the surprise inside. That there's something in there that's not visible from the surface, but you open it up and there's something really important inside of it. So we had that already with the latch thing. Now we've got the Easter egg, which suggests there's something inside of it. But, the surface of it is glorious.
I mean, Fabergé, of course, were famous for creating those jeweled Easter eggs for the Russian royal family. And each of those had the most intricate and very often mechanical and articulated insides after you open them up.
Yeah. That you're not getting those for $10,000.
No.
That this Easter egg though, coming as it does. I mean, so we got those seem to be paired, even though the Easter egg is actually paired with the anchor.
Yes.
On the link. This again is I'm going to go right to the anagogical stuff, guys. This is an Easter egg. That's this kind of valued egg. I mean, you think of making this up? Go ahead, Nick. Show the next slide. I mean, there's a, this is a gimme. Christians spend a lot of time decorating eggs, especially in the Orthodox tradition. And we all on Pascha, the Feast of Feasts, of which every Sunday is the reflection. You get an egg from the priest or the bishop who's serving. A big red egg. There's a wonderful story about that. But it's about the light of the world coming in the world. That is the Paschal gospel reading is the prologue to John, in which the the light of the world that comes, the light of creation that comes into the world in every man, is the egg. So we're seeing this again. The gold. I didn't talk about this so much. The gold in the first piece, because you have the diamond there, but the gold band. The reason that Christians have gold bands as their wedding ring is because gold is solid light. Silver is a reflection of that, also solid light, but gold is light itself, primordial, right? It's the thing of which all other metals are, failings in achieving. That gold is what metal is supposed to be. The same way illumination and enlightenment through this light of the world in your heart is the goal of every human being. And so here we get diamonds again, this, which have an inner light on a golden egg, which reflects this Paschal joy of the light of the world being realized in the Logos himself and his victory over death. The light shining in the darkness. Nick, this image is so heavily laden with Christian content that she chose that color rather than the purple or the green or whatever. Reflects that she gets this. This what could possibly be in part 2 that gives us that image? Are they going to go to St. Giles in the Fields for an Easter service? What is going on with that picture?
Again, if we bring it back to what has been a topic within the Hallmark man is Robin's potential loss of her fertility. She is, among all of the nightmares that is chasing around her head towards the second half of that book, is the option of freezing. Does she want to freeze? And that all feeds into what does she actually want to get out of life? What is important to her? So, there's an egg theme already, even before we start looking at the further Christian imagery and the ideas of rebirth and renewal and rejuvenation.
And as we think about the calendar, and we know the calendar is really important, and I'm going to make a case for Troubled Blood as being something that we need to revisit, which is the calendar one. The fact that we're getting close to Easter, in terms of the timeline here, but also that idea, like they do in the movies, the Easter eggs. If we see right after that ring box, then we have the Easter egg and the anchor that we're going to talk about. Is that telling us that the clues that we need, we've already seen, that we've already seen things? And so maybe that's also a little reminder to us that even though this charm bracelet is loaded with clues of what lies ahead may also be what was behind. We may already have seen so much of it.
I love that.
Yeah. This image that Nick just brought up is a charm I found this morning.
Wow.
As a golden egg with the message, "He is risen." In case you missed all the light and the Paschal references, just in case. People think I make this stuff up, Nick. I'm afraid people are just, but I love the part. What both of you are after is that Robin at one point defiantly yells, "I'm not just my eggs."
Yes.
To Murphy, RFM, back off a little bit on the egg thing, right? Yeah. But this is, the egg, that women have this capacity to host life and really to, give life from their own person internally to a human being in whom this light of the world comes in. And the light of creation comes into each person inside. The woman becomes an Easter egg, right? And that, where she's saying, "I'm not just my eggs," is that her eggs are about this greater meaning. Seriously, this is so laden. But I think, Nick, your point, if and forgive me if I'm putting words in your mouth, you're not hesitant to correct me on that point, I hope.
You always put better words in my mouth than I can, John. Go right ahead.
whew, if you folks aren't getting the bitter sarcasm in that line, that rejoinder there, you need to get a new filter. But anyway, this that Robin is in agony about her eggs is about her mental breakdown. I mean, she's scrambled eggs right now. I mean, at the end of that book, she is from when we saw that in reading part 5. Again, if you're on the paid subscriber list, you saw us discuss this at some length. That Robin at the end of part 5 or in the center of part 5 is an absolute mental collapse, and that points to the end where really she runs out of the office and she's toast. Or scrambled eggs on toast. I mean, this is a real broken person, and specifically a woman. And I'm wondering if you're right, Nick, that the crisis of her life, which is physical, psychological, and spiritual, as it revolves around the choice between erotic love with Murphy, which is a strictly psychological, dependency, or her relationship with Strike, which is anti-erotic and about truth and justice and her vocation, which is this logos within her. That's going to turn on her eggs and her fertility issues. Is this where we do our drinking game, Nick? Is this where you mentioned the ectopic pregnancy thing?
Did you predict that, John?
There we go, folks. There we go.
That's the one you predicted. No, what Robin, I think, really needs is hope.
Mm-hmm.
And the Christian symbol of hope is the anchor. So this is linked to the egg. So it's on the same egg, and we have the anchor here. I'm going to be annoyingly pedantic now. If you look at this anchor, you can see the rope snaking through the shank. So it's closer to this charm here. We have a rope going from the head down the shank, and then it crosses over the pointy bit at the end called a fluke. This is called a fouled anchor. And the fouled anchor is a naval symbol. So it was the badge of the Lord High Admiral of England. And from there, it became a symbol of the Royal Navy. And then in the 19th century, it became the symbol of virtually every navy across the world. And then it became a broader symbol for sailing generally. Now, there's some oddities to the fouled anchor. As any sailor will tell you, this anchor will not hold. So this cable that's trapped around the fluke goes up to the ship. If you try and lay this anchor, it will not bite. You pull that cable and you'll pull the fluke up and the cable will drag. This sends a shudder through any seaman. This anchor does not hold. So the true symbol of Christian hope is the unfouled anchor. This is the anchor that will hold. And you can see actually what's on this charm is the naval symbol rather than the Christian symbol. Now we know that
pedantic. That's good
great.
Detail work. That's charming, Nick. That's great.
Yes.
Well,
So,
we know J.K. Rowling had a header in Portsmouth, big UK naval town, the major naval town. So there may be a naval connection. However, this naval symbol has become so ubiquitous, and I think, John, you found some images to sort of demonstrate. So here we are. This is a Christian symbol of the hope being the anchor. And if we see further, this is a Christian symbol again, but this one uses
with the flaming heart. Oh, by the way,
with the flaming. So this is clearly a Christian symbol, but it uses this fouled anchor. Now the question is, why? Well, I think because the fouled anchor has become so synonymous with what an anchor ought to look like, that it's just taken that position. So many people will use a fouled anchor as a Christian symbol. I mean, you could equally ask, why, with this abomination of an anchor, would navies want to use it as a symbol? And nobody really knows the answer to that. So some people have suggested just it looks nice with this sort of wavy pattern with the sharp angles of the anchor. other people have said, well, of course, the Lord High Admiral himself would never have actually been a sailor, so he wouldn't have known the difference. So it was sort of a joke that the sailors
Nick,
played on their admirals. But
Nick, was he a Mason?
Because
I know.
So this would have been.
How old is his grandmother? Because
the badge would have was medieval in origin. Mid-medieval, not even late medieval in origin. So at that point, Masons, they were busy building cathedrals. There was no funny handshake, no gentleman club. They would have been operative Masons.
Okay, Nick, I'm looking at my Spencer lady here,
yeah.
And she's saying, when you see that staff with even the smallest of crosses on it, you're going to think caduceus. You're thinking that this is the sign of healing. This is the snake climbing the staff,
okay.
and that's the link to it. And the Christian piece is that this is Moses in the desert raising the serpent on the staff, and I mean, this is part of the Marine Corps emblem too, I believe, Nick. I mean, this is getting pretty close to home here for the guy in red. This symbol plays into exactly what the other two are. And I'm sorry, people think that this is the perennialist drum that John is beating, but folks, this is not stuff I'm making up. You saw those, like Nick, bring up that thing. Look at the other one. Look at those four symbols in Christianity. You got the key row, which is Constantine's, in this sign, I conquer, and you've got the ichthos fish, which was basically a map, as well as the two circles. The two circles are also in that infinity sign. The fish is really the intersection of two circles, which is the logos as the intersection of the transcendent God and immanent in creation, the word that brings everything into existence. And so you have those two circles, that transcendent immanent realm. Again, love, dove, that's the chambers of your heart. And then beneath that, these are ancient symbols. I mean, these are not, things that Christians last week wrote and said, oh, well, how about we do some, creative work here and do the fish, and then the bottom of it is the anchor. Why is the anchor such a telling symbol? Because it's what connects, the surface of spirit and the water of psychology and the ground of earth. Okay, it's the rope, and that is that logos, which brings all those things into existence. And why is that an important thing? Because the sea is a virulent place, and we really, we have our own fouled anchors in that we confuse all those elements in our lives, and we don't, focus on the one necessary thing. But if we focus on the anchor, which is Christ, which is why is the symbol, it has a cross in it, and with a heart in the center of that cross and that image. That is what will hold you firm through the stormiest of seas. I mean, again, I think those are supposed to be paddles or something, Nick. Those oars or something in the image. I mean, this is definitely a pretty English image. That, for example, we're going to get to this with that Trojan horse. I believe Hector, unless my Homeric Greek has totally abandoned me. Hector means anchor in Greek. And Hector, of course, is the last hope of Troy against these invaders. He's the anchor which keeps Troy together. And it's his death that everything just is gone. I mean, the city is destroyed. As Strike would say, we're going to burn this effing city to the ground. That actually happens in Troy. And we know that we get Virgil elements, especially in Cuckoo's Calling. So we're coming to that point. Hector is a big deal. And that she includes this anchor here. Yeah, I think you're right about the Portsmouth plot point. We're going to see some naval action here, but that she chose the anchor to represent that. A golden anchor, again, with all the solid light image of that. After we have the Easter egg and the heart and the diamonds inside of it, Nick, this is strike three. If you're not convinced that Rowling is going to go with heavier Christian content in these books, I'm sorry, I'm doing my best, Nick. We're at 100% through three things, and she's linked the anchor to the egg in case we missed it. To say that, hey, that's not just a naval thing. Yeah, this is the caduceus. This is and we'll put links down below what a caduceus is. But this is your healing and transformation is in that anchor and holding firm. God willing, that that's going to be and the plot point for all of us who are cheering for Robin to survive this book, because the mythology and the Christian imagery and the psychomachia are all saying, nah, she ain't making it. All of us who are cheering for her to survive her trip to hell. This is some hope, I think. She's going to be anchored in something. Maybe it's going to be family. Maybe it's going to be faith. We're going to get that Psalter at the end. Maybe it's going to be Cormoran Strike as her psychomachian pair of soul and spirit. But anyway, that's a rich, rich image. Part 3 promises to be, maybe not as big as chapter 3 was in Hallmark Man, but still a profoundly meaningful image. All right.
Okay.
Elizabeth, I mean, what are you thinking about this?
Well, and that's it. That's the anchor and the idea of how that works. But it's interesting that it is, the idea of the fouled anchor. So she's trying to put her hope in Murphy, as we've seen, maybe. So there's also that idea that we have to get things untangled. And the idea of the tangled chain is an important one. The tangled rope, the tangled chain, and the fact that this is a charm bracelet, it's a chain. So the idea that we have to sort of straighten everything out, I think that's going to continue to be a motif that we see that goes on, that things are connected together, but that as human beings, we do put our hope in the wrong things. And I know, John, especially you have implied, I think implied is strong enough. I think you've outright said that Uncle Ted is suspicious, our sailor. So perhaps we have been putting our hope in Uncle Ted and ill-advisedly. I kind of like to think that Uncle Ted is the only decent father figure that Strike ever had. I'd like to think he's an okay guy, but I know you've got a theory about Uncle Ted.
Strike says he's a proper man. So
yeah, well,
John thinks
Strike's
he is. So maybe that anchor is a clue.
After Hallmark Man, Nick, if you think Uncle Ted was a proper man, anyway, you trust Strike's judgment about what a proper man is. Wow. All right.
We don't trust his judgment about a lot of things. So
that's right. I was like, whoa, buddy, you worked that plan. Boy, did you work that plan? Wow. If that's Uncle Ted's legacy, but that's a horrible legacy for that man. Anyway, that fouled anchor thing is great, Elizabeth, because and it's an image of the fallen world that we don't hold to that anchor the way we should. Is a fouled anchor, and that's seriously, the anchor is the Christian image that it is, because it has so many dimensions and possible interpretations and usages. I'm really looking forward to seeing what she does with that.
We've talked already a little about how Robin, because Robin's the one that wears the charm bracelet, which she hasn't worn it yet, the one that Strike got her for Christmas. She wants to put that thing on. But we talk about her, but a lot of these charms apply to Strike as much as they do to her. So the idea that one, perhaps, because we've seen him time and again, putting his confidence in the wrong things, investing himself poorly, dating the wrong women, all of those kinds of things, these choices.
Trusting his own judgment. I mean, he's
which is not very good. No. So that idea of that befouled anchor, or that it's kind of mistrust that's happening, it can apply to both of them, not just her.
Nick, you live on the Bristol Sound or whatever that thing is called. That
channel.
The channel. Okay, and you're a man of the water. I know you walk along that beautiful geographical marvel that is Bristol Channel every day. Strike, he sees himself now as a Western man, and a Cornwall man. He says if you're near a body of water, you need to go down and look at it, which is always about a reflection on the infinite. The heart sees a large body of water, and it doesn't say, "Wow, what a big bathtub." It has this the eye of the heart opens up and says, here it is. Here's the transcendent realm. And that's a very important thing to him. Elizabeth's point that anchor could just refer to Strike and his own seafaring past. I mean, we saw in Troubled Blood that he's quite capable as a sailor. I mean, he gets on that boat the Joanette, and he's working the ropes and everything. I mean, he knows exactly what to do. One-legged sailor, as weird as that is outside of Ahab, that's a remarkable thing. I forget. I don't think of Strike as a sailor, but there he is. All right.
Well, and as I keep hoping that we will come back to With Troubled Blood and with the Fairy Queen, the Fairy Queen has a sailing motif all the way through. And of course, we had all that sailing in Trouble. That was a lot of that. So,
are you saying that Britain is an island?
I have heard.
What an outrageous assertion!
Honestly, the island is so large, it's almost impossible to know. I don't think anyone's gone all the way around to confirm that yet.
It's a tough swim, Nick. All right, on to the next charm. What's our next one?
So we're going to move from the sublime to the ridiculous. So we have angels, cherubs. They are I'm going to be charitably call it a naive style. They look like a children's drawings, and they're in a pair, combined on a link. There's two of them. One has a white dress, one has a pink jersey, very lightly enameled.
You're telling me there's two angels on this?
Yes. Yeah. So on this link here, we have one here and one here. Both appear to have wings.
Totally escaping. That's great.
There was a lady on Twitter called HS Mum who managed to find the manufacturer. So this, you can see, this is we think it's the same. Yeah, we think it's the same charm, but it's a reversed image. I would say almost certainly the manufacturer of the one was also the manufacturer of the second one. And this is an independent workshop in Hatton Garden in London. Now, when you want to buy really expensive jewelry, you go in London to Asprey's or William & Sons or Garrard's. In New York, you go to Tiffany. But where Tiffany and Asprey's go when they want to source their jewelry is Hatton Garden in London. So this is top quality stuff, not cheap. You may look at it and think,
Pat.
Yeah, this came out of an Easter egg, maybe. But yeah,
a Christmas popper or something. One of those.
Yeah. And it's also, again, it's one of the few charms that we know was purchased new. So it's very unlikely that this was picked up in an antique shop. This is bang up to date stuff. As to
I'm
its
totally
meaning,
blindsided by the fact I did not pick up that there were two of these on there.
Yeah. So Cupid and Psyche, possibly.
I wish I had a better picture of that second one, because here you can see the angel the way that this person has given us that marvelous image.
Yes.
I can't make out an angel at all in that second one.
I have a feeling that each of these are manufactured unique. So this one sort of looks like this one, but you can see it's reversed. Actually, there are some differences. You can see the mouth line is different. Mm-hmm. I think each of these are unique as they're manufactured.
Nick, with your arrow, can you look at that second one and tell me why we know that's an angel?
Okay, so let me go back. So the reason why I'm saying it's an angel, it's got the same facial features as the first angel, which we have a clear image of. You can see we've got what looks to be wings at the back here, and then crossed arms and a long white dress. I think that is angelic, again in a naive, childlike style.
But they're so different.
Yes.
That I see the Cupid and Psyche thing for the first time. That you're talking about something which is definitely divine and something which is very different. The way soul and spirit might be different. Yeah. Okay, I get the Psyche Cupid thing, which I didn't see really before. Wow. Again, forgive me, Nick. It looks like tat to me. It looks like something an Etsy thing that a child did with some kind of. There's another possibility.
I mean, again, Hatton Garden is not where you go to buy tat. So there's a possibility that these pieces were commissioned. So if J.K. Rowling had some treasured child's drawing of angels, took it to a jeweler, the jeweler manufactured two, and Rowling said, no, this one's facing the wrong way. Make it again. Made it again, and then there's this extra one currently for sale from the manufacturers. I don't know. It's a possibility.
The idea of the child's drawing is one that really appeals to me, because as we kind of look back at those Easter eggs from previous books, I've been hoping that we'd see Orlando again.
Yeah. So, bingo! Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
So hopefully, maybe these are Orlando drawings that we are going to see, or the other location that we visited where we sometimes see some pretty tacky angels is a cemetery. And so, in some cemetery art is sort of tatty. It is extreme. Sometimes it's very maudlin and over the top and that sort of thing. So perhaps we are visiting a cemetery, or maybe we're going to go see Orlando again, which would be great.
But if Rowling really wanted Victoriana cherub, that would not be difficult to find. So you can find that relatively easily. I think there was something about these objects that meant it's, and again, they appear to be new bought rather than found antique. So there's something about this that says these are the images for that link.
Nick, can you see the bottoms of them? Are they hollow?
You can't see the bottoms of them, but for the price, it seems like it's solid gold.
Interesting. What was the price?
I don't have it handy, but it was in the many hundreds.
Okay. Well, it's price of gold right now. No surprise there. We're at what, $5,000 an ounce? I mean, this is record breaking. All right. I don't. We're going to have a whole show dedicated to Cupid and Psyche.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of fandom speculation about where we are actually in the myth in terms of its representation inside the Strike series. Tamara out there has done some wonderful work in the comments, and I'm in touch with her. I really want to bring her on, but I'm not seeing how this works inside the book. But that's okay. It's early. That's only part 4. Who knows what's going on there? On we go, Nick. Now we're getting some real goodies.
So we got a real good one next. So this is the Trojan horse. Again, purchased brand new from jewelers. It is articulated. It's hinged at the back and clipped at the front. You can see all those Greek soldiers inside. This is created, as far as I can find, from one jewelers in the UK, and it's a jewelers that's situated in Harrogate, the nearest large town to Massam. Harrogate is where Betty's tea shop is located, so it's almost certain that Rowling chanced upon this when she was visiting Harrogate. I don't think it was commissioned by her, so this is available for retail. Considering it's 9-carat gold, it's not super expensive, so I think this has been in series production for a while. But of course, it's the Trojan horse. It's the concealed, hidden danger.
Yeah. All those little bumps inside there are murderers that are ready to burn your city to what's the line he uses with Waze? I'll burn your
church to the ground. Yeah.
I'll burn your effing church to the ground. Well, I tell you, that's Ulysses saying, buddy, don't mess with this horse. And that representation is, we're getting near the center of these things. There's going to be revelations. and it's going to be devastating. Now, when people hear Trojan Horse, they think of Homer's Odyssey, because it's kind of inside the framework of Homer. But we don't see the Trojan Horse in Homer. All the action of the Iliad takes place before Ulysses' diversion and way to get around all the things and get inside the walls. The Trojans actually take down the gate in order to bring this giant Trojan horse. I mean, there's a picture of it, Nick, right? There's a
there we go.
An image here. Yeah, I mean, this thing is so huge that the Trojans have to knock down their walls to bring it in. And it's a great story, but it's not told by Homer. It's told by Aeneas, a survivor of the Trojan debacle, a son of Aphrodite, who escapes to Morocco, not Morocco, to Carthage, and Dido, and he has to explain what he has to tell his agony, his story, the loss of his wife, his father on his shoulders. I mean, it's an incredible scene, but he lays out the entire story of the Trojan horse in that storytelling. Now we know that Strike, at least in the first book, there's a lot of Virgil elements, a lot of Aeneid elements inside the book. Here we're getting some sort of return to that, but I don't think it's a nice return. That there's again, I think the obvious plot point is RFM, that he's the Judas, if you will, of the book, and that he has got some sort of plan to break up Strike and Robin, and it's because Charlotte's got some sort of time bomb going on him. Now that's that rank speculation, but boy, that Trojan horse, Nick, and also forgive me, there's a really if you're talking about this is just crass, that the word Trojan to most American teens is a condom. And
okay, that joke would not land in the UK.
Okay. Well, when it opens up and all the little things come out, they can wreak havoc, and maybe we're going to find out the story of the broken Trojan in this part. That this was what Murphy was really after. We think of it as just drunken fumbling and a mistake. What if it wasn't a mistake at all? What if it was, no more arbitrary or accidental than the planning of the Trojan horse? All right. Sorry, I had to go there.
Well, I want to go the other side of that. Because the Trojan horse is also this kind of this dark image, but there's also, and I don't think Rowling is above this kind of fun reference here as well, as of course that we think of Ulysses, Odysseus as the engineer of the horse, but of course he's inspired by Athena. He is the beloved of Minerva, of Athena. So he is this crafty guy who's created this really amazing thing, but because there's a woman at the back of it. So is he is she in some ways making a little joke about her alter ego of Galbraith writing these books as the craftsman of these books, but that in fact she's the Athena, she's the Minerva behind him, as he is creating. And these books are a little bit like all those Greeks crammed in there, and everything we open, just when you think you've got it figured out, then there's much more inside. So I wonder if it's a little more positive than that. But it's also this idea of the engineering of the planning, because boy, we know she's a planner. Oh, yeah. And everything it's not accidental. It's all very much planned and engineered, just like this charm bracelet.
Wow.
Okay. Thank you for raising us from the mundane to the.
I was trying to get away from it as fast as possible.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Need a little mental floss here to get this stuff out of my head there. That's good. Thank you. Well, we're halfway through the chain.
Yeah. And
this is probably a good time for us to break.
Okay.
But you definitely want to come back, because after we're going to get that crocodile. We're going to get Persephone. We're going to get the white rose of Yorkshire. We've got.
And we start off with a bang, right?
Yeah, seriously. I'm gonna burn this effing city to the ground. We're gonna go right into Troy and the end of Troy and Hector, whose name means actor. This is it could be richer than what we're gonna see in the second half of this chain. We gotta break this up because there's just too much goodness, and no one's gonna watch hours and hours and hours of this stuff. So if we can just take a break here,
Brilliant.
Elizabeth, go out and shovel the snow off your car. I'm gonna have to go inside out of my. The inside is bigger than the outside of my little shed here, but it's cold inside here. I'm gonna go get some hot cocoa and then come back and we'll talk more about the remaining charms on this bracelet.
Wonderful. We'll see everyone soon.